As we discussed in a previous video, there was a moment in Darth Vader's duel with Obi-Wan during episode 4 where the Sith Lord had to acknowledge there'd always been a small amount of worry within him when envisioning a rematch against his former Jedi Master, causing the slightest bit of doubt if he would be able to win on the Death Star given the outcome of Mustafar. It's not surprising that Vader understood Obi-Wan could defeat him again, since he knew he was a better fighter than Obi-Wan on Mustafar and was still defeated. So he had to recognize that despite his power with the dark side, a repeat of their first duel was still possible. However, while he would be forced to accept that Obi-Wan could defeat him a second time, Darth Vader would not go into his duel with Luke Skywalker on the second Death Star with the same worries or doubts. Vader was immensely confident, as while Obi-Wan had been a trained Jedi Master, Luke was still unproven in Vader's estimation. Not a surprising conclusion given the outcome of their duel on Cloud City. But there was a moment when this initial confidence was completely swept away by Luke, where the Jedi's abilities would cause fear to emerge in Vader, and where he would even have to recognize that Luke might be more powerful than him. I'll just note right from the beginning that this acknowledgement from Vader in episode 6 did not come at the end of the duel between himself and Luke, where Vader would be forced on the defensive by Luke's onslaught. It happened far earlier than that, and the recognition that Luke might be more powerful would impact Vader for the remainder of the duel. After taking Luke to Emperor Palpatine, there was a moment during their exchange when Luke and Vader could sense unmistakable fear within the Emperor. As both of them realized, Palpatine's fear was directed towards Luke, or more accurately, fear of Luke's power and what could happen if Luke turned that power against him. Initially, Vader would have to admit that Luke was powerful, even stronger than he'd imagined following their confrontation in episode 5. But while Luke's power may have caused fear to emerge within the Emperor, Vader did not initially have the same reaction himself. I think seeing Luke's power more in the realm of potential rather than something he possessed then and there, and which could be utilized against him in a confrontation between the two of them. When Vader ignited his lightsaber to stop Luke's attack against the Emperor, initiating the duel between the two, Vader thought that just as he defeated Dooku decades earlier, the Force was again with him, and he was unquestionably confident going into lightsaber combat against Luke. In fact, at the beginning of the duel and following their first exchanges, Vader wasn't fearful of Luke's speed, but impressed by it. Vader was still at the stage of evaluating Luke's abilities and saw the duel not as one that placed him in real danger or which potentially had deadly consequences for himself, but merely one where he was guiding Luke through his path with the dark side. However, all of this would then change exceptionally quickly when Luke pushed forward to attack again, advancing aggressively with multiple strikes. While Vader would meet and block each of them, he was forced to retreat, and by the end of the exchange, Vader was already breathing hard. But the most important moment came when Luke delivered a powerful kick that sent Vader tumbling down the stairs of the Emperor's throne room to the ground below. As Luke stood above Vader at the top of the staircase, he was the first to recognize it. He could defeat the Sith Lord, and not just Vader, but the Emperor too. He had the power to do both, and Luke was almost overwhelmed by the thought of it. But the truth of the situation wasn't lost upon Vader either. Standing at the bottom of the staircase, for the first time, Vader recognized that Luke could and might actually defeat him. Vader was astonished by Luke's power and timing in lightsaber combat, which had increased tremendously since their previous duel on Cloud City. While up until that point, Luke's abilities were viewed favorably by Vader, believing they would be helpful in making Luke a powerful ally against the Emperor, Vader now saw them not just as unexpected, but as completely undesirable, as they were now being aimed at him. After recognizing Luke might be more powerful than him and he could be defeated, this caused a number of other emotions to emerge within Vader. At first, he felt humiliation at the thought of losing, and then actual fear, a rare occurrence for Vader. In the end, these emotions would transform into anger and push Vader to pursue Luke again with a desire for revenge. However, knowing Luke was a dangerous opponent who had the ability to defeat him, he also proceeded much more cautiously at times. Ultimately, of course, Luke's power, bolstered by the dark side of the Force, would eventually overwhelm Vader, and Luke would emerge victorious. But long before the duel's end, Vader did realize he underestimated Luke, and like the Emperor, Vader came to fear Luke's power, knowing it could be used to defeat him. So there we have it, the moment Vader feared Luke was more powerful, and that he could be defeated in episode 6. Thank you very much to all of the Patreon members of Star Wars Reading Club, as your support is so greatly appreciated. You can find all of our social media links and a link to our Star Wars gaming channel in the description below for updates and even more Star Wars content. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me... For unexpected abilities.